G'day guys, it's Wolffy here, and today I'm going to share with you a tune that I've done for the Porsche 917K. It's a bit of a special one. Now, while I did use this for the Sardinia 800 event, it's not really a grinding tune per se. It's more of just a track tune and gives people an opportunity to use this car, as I'd imagine a lot of people have bought it and want to use it and haven't really had the opportunity. So I had a bit of a play around with it just to see what I could do. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel to make sure that you're up to date with all my new content. Now, this design was done by Gt7, and he's also the person that requested the tune for this build, so thanks Chris. Be sure to check out his liveries. They're absolutely amazing. He does some great classic liveries made to look like they've been track run. Awesome. So for the tune, I've gone with racing soft tyres front and rear. The body height adjustment is set at 53 at the front and 70 at the rear. Now, I've lifted that a tiny bit at the front. I just found that it was more stable and less likely to spin out with that little bit extra height at the front. I honestly thought that it was going to need more of a rake effect, so a higher rear. But yeah, I guess the fact that this car already has a bit of a wedge shape sort of adds to that. It doesn't have any rear downforce. So really, you've got to try and gain that advantage wherever you can. So that front bit just really helps with stability. So we've gone with 6 at the front and 6 at the rear for anti-roll bar settings. We've got dampening ratio compression 31 at the front and 32 at the rear. Expansion is set to 42 at the front and 43 at the rear. Natural frequency is set to 3.50 front and rear. Our negative camber is set to 0.8 at the front and 1.2 at the rear. Not a whole lot on there. I just wanted to try and save tyres. Toe angle is set to 0.10 out, so that's to the left for the front, and 0.23 in, so to the right for the rear. Our initial torque is set to 10, acceleration sensitivity to 15, and our braking sensitivity set to 25. Okay, so for our aerodynamics, now this sort of comes down to personal preference. I initially set it at 200 for the rear and 200 for the front, so full downforce front and rear. However, after using it for a while, I really, I worked out that I didn't need quite as much, and it was only really slowing me down. So you kind of have to find your comfortable spot. I found about 174 was giving me that little bit of extra pace down the straight, and it wasn't negotiating my control too much. And I took quite a bit off the front downforce actually, and this is obviously just helping you once again to get that little bit of extra speed in a straight line. And I found around the 150s, 140s wasn't too bad for giving me good rotational Gs and a decent top speed, and allowing me to still turn in, and get around those corners. So surprisingly, this car doesn't actually do too bad. It's not super heavy, so it's not that hard to turn in. So the ECU is set to 100%. We've got no ballast, and the power restrictor is set also to 100%. For the transmission, I haven't really played around with the gears so far. It's got the racing transmission, and I've set it to 320. Other than that, the only other thing I added was the increased body rigidity. Now, I tried it without, and I really think that you need the body rigidity with this. So there you go. Now it's only getting 598. I say only, that's quite a bit, but considering that the car only weighs 800 kilos, that's actually quite a lot. So that's how it's pumping out these sort of numbers. You've got a 9.68 second quarter mile and 17.3 seconds for the first kilometer. So that's pretty quick. And the numbers are pretty good on this tune, so I was happy with that. Now, if you want to play it safe, you can basically put this into fuel map 6 and short shift, preferably not over around the halfway mark, and you can do a one-stop strategy. Basically come in after lap 7, change, put a new set of racing softs on, fill it up with fuel, go back out there and just really short shift the hell out of it for the next 8 laps. And that's going to be, you know, a good conservative way to get it done. If you really want to guarantee the win and make sure that you get through it okay. So I came in with just under 26 minutes for that. You can definitely get that faster. However, that's not why we made this tune. So if you want to have some fun, I'd say Fuel Map 4 will give you a good strategy for 2 stops, and you can basically, you know, you can easily keep up with and overtake any of the AI in the Group 3 cars. And it gave me an opportunity to really feel what this car's about. So it was the first chance I've really had to use this car for any extended amount of time. So I was kind of just, you know, pushing and learning the limits of the car really, and worked out that it's actually really good for helping you work on your car control. It was a great way to try and work out where my slip angle was and how far I could push the car, and you know, what sort of angles I want to use with my steering and my inputs. And I found really light inputs work well with this car. So, you know, not overturning basically ever and trying to use my racing line rather than just turning too hard. Same goes, of course, for acceleration and braking, as you can see there. So I sort of pushed in and out of corners to try and work out where those limits were. And I think I learned a lot about the car and a lot about my driving style in the process. So yeah, if you basically do a 2-stopper, you're still going to win. It's not going to be nearly as easy as some of those more high-powered cars, or for the 787B build that I did the other day. However, you're going to have a lot of fun with this, and any excuse to use this car for me is a good excuse, especially considering, you know, it's 18 million. So there you go, guys. I hope you liked that one. Please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and until next time, guys, take care. Bye.